Karl, just come up on screen there. Whereas Harry Brown has said, ask Karl again, how do we stop them doing away with common law? So this is somebody who's very worried at what we see is a massive attack at the moment to simply get rid of common law as though it's never existed.
Like I said again, thank God for telephony, thank God for telecommunications, thank God for this internet, or I wouldn't have met you today. Yay. Yeah. You guys got to meet me too.
So we're doing it.
We're doing it.
By
we're
getting
doing
them
it right, and we're getting the word out, and we're making it. I'm making it. Like I say to people, people say to me all the time, "Karl, how can you make any money at this? You do it in 2-3 sentences. Attorneys do years and years of this nonsense, and they get tens of thousands of pounds or quid for doing what you're doing in 2 sentences." I said, right, there is no money to be made here. So that's why the legal society would give absolutely no benefit to teaching you folks what I'm teaching you. There's absolutely nothing for them to make in it. They'd go back to just taking care of corporations like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Fanta. They would go back to where they belong, dealing with the fictitious entities of the planet. They would not be able to engage in intercourse with man anymore. It's just we're tolerating it.
Right.
That's all it is you're tolerating. Oh, that's a great word I use all the time, too. Some poor man, he came up from London. And I said to them, I said, let me pretend I'm the judge. And I said, and I said to the man, I said, would you say that you're suffering because the policeman broke your arm, twisted your legs, bent you in a pretzel, and that he beat you in the head with a bat? He's like, yeah, I'm suffering because of that. I'd say, next case. And he said, what? I said, suffer. Do you know what the word suffer means? And he's like, he had this big old law dictionary. I said, look it up. And he flipped it open. He says, to permit or to allow. I said, right, did you allow him to do that? Did you have the capacity to stop him, but you chose not to stop him? Right, so when they say, oh, the poor suffering Irish, it's like, oh, well, they're tolerating it, they're permitting it, they're allowing it to happen. They had the ability to stop, but they chose not to. I said, do you understand the words that they're throwing out in the media to you, saying that you suffer or you're suffering? Do you realize that means to consent? Do you realize that means to permit? So do you realize they're making fools out of you people because you're getting this public school education, and they're saying, well, did you suffer by what the policeman did to you? Yes, I suffer badly. Next case. I said, that's how fast I could get rid of your case, if I wanted to get rid of your case that fast. Yeah. Because you just don't know simple words that they're using at you.
I can imagine there's a lot of people watching this and listening, and they're saying, how can it be that we got this parallel system? And what came into my mind was that we were contacted by a mother, I'm going to guess, probably a year ago. She'd had children taken away from her, but she was an amazing lady. She decided she needed to go and learn law to find out how they did this. So she signed on to do a law degree in England, which I think she did in Kent. And then she was so interested that she went across to the States and did one under the American bar. And she said, it still didn't explain to me what was really going on.
Right.
But the thing she said, and I've never forgotten it, is she said when she was doing the law degree in England, there was one of the tutors that kept saying something very strange to the students. He kept saying, have you seen the film The Matrix? So initially they said, well, no, not yet. And then he'd ask again, have you seen it? So eventually one of them challenged him and said, why are you so keen for us to watch The Matrix? And he said to them, well, it's important you realise that all is not as it seems. And she found that little incident stuck in her mind. It stuck in my mind. But now I'm beginning to think, well, here we are. We've got people going through law school where the people teaching are actually sucking people into this alternative system.
When you go to a legal school, a law school like that, whatever you want to call it, it's a legal society, they are pulling you further away from your status as a man, from you being the creator to you becoming one of them, to you becoming within their society. Because when I took a bar exam just for a laugh, and there was like the very first part is 4 multiple choices. The first one is like banana. The other one is like Eskimo. That's ridiculous. Then the third answer is a common law answer. That'd be perfect in common law. The fourth answer would be the legalese answer. That's the perfect answer in legalese, which is 180 degrees commonly different than the common law.
Right.
And I just realized, I said, this is hysterical. If you do common law, you're going to fail. You're not going to be a member of the bar. But it is the correct answer in common law.
We've got many people now who, as lay persons, have got a lot of experience in court, and they are now seeing some even barrister level people starting to run away and research on the common law, and they're saying, we were never taught this.
That's right.
Yeah, so this is the truth beginning to do the job, coming up to the surface.
Because my friend who became a judge in the States, I don't know if you folks understand, how long do you think it takes for them to train them to be a judge? Do you have any idea?
Well, I'm going to answer that with a question. Do you know who appoints judges?
Well, here in the United States, they elect judges.
Right.
So my friend called me up one day and
No idea.
He said, I won't be able to hang out with you this week and talk to you this week. He says, because I won the election. And I said, oh, that's right, you've become a judge. He's like, yeah, I got to go for 3 or 4 days to the state capitol, and they're going to teach me how to be a judge. 3 or 4 days. So you could be elected a judge, he could be elected for a judge. 3 or 4 days in the United States, they're going to say, you got all you need to know to be a judge. This is how simple it is to you folks. I'm saying, you guys don't understand. I could do in 3 or 4 days what they teach a judge to do in 3 or 4 days. Right. It's that simple.
But we describe, okay, we've got that. We're describing judges as a particularly bad old boy system. They're just appointing each other on a...
Oh, here in the UK?
Well, yeah.
Well, in the United States, there Joe Schmo like me could get elected to be a judge, and then we actually have to go to like some sort of... They bring us to the state capitol, and 3 or 4 days later, they give us the, hey, you're a judge. You need everything you need to know. Because being a judge is so beyond simple. It's just basically all built on contract.
Right. Do you want to get this one up? I'd like you to take us through this one.
Yeah, we can do that one real quick. I think we probably brought up the status of standing in court a little bit pretty quickly with the creator, like I was doing with the capstone. We couldn't figure out how to get rid of the capstone. So we just put that up there for quickie. But like I said, a man, like say the creator, say God was a creator, and he came down to planet Earth and he wanted to be, say, a frog. And he was getting stepped on by man forever and ever and ever. And after a while, he got tired of being stepped on by man. So he said, you know what, I'm going to go re-establish my position, and I'm going to go back to being God. But it was fun at the time, but now I'm coming back. What happens to a lot of folks, they're being dragged into other people's court cases as a defendant. So as you get tired of getting stepped on as a defendant, you could say, you know what, I'm tired of being a defendant. Like I said, with Bali's case, I left him as a defendant because I was going to flip the court anyway, and I was going to say, now we're going to be a man. So that's what I did in Bali's case. We flipped it from being a defendant to being a man. And the court judge realized that, and he realized Bali was evoking the common law rights of this land. That we have the right to act as a man at any time we wish. We got done acting as a defendant. We got tired of being stepped on. So guess what? We're going to flip it, and we're going to go back to the status of a man. And that's why people say, how did you flip it as a defendant? Because the judges are listening to certain key words that you're uttering. And only man can use those certain words. Lawyers and barristers can't.
Okay. We got 10 minutes, so let's just run through, because you selected these, so